I'll say it here. If Jennifer Lawrence and Brian Tyree Henry don't get Oscar nominations for their performances, then what's even the point of doing these awards? Causeway was directed by Leland Neugebauer and stars Jennifer Lawrence and Brian Tyree Henry and tells the story of a woman who, after suffering a traumatic brain injuries during her time in the army, returns home and tries to find herself and a way to possibly get out and serve in the military again. Like with a lot of streaming movies these days, it's very hard for most to stick in people's minds or even get marketed well by the services, and sadly, Causeway is one of these films. Apple has made some incredibly good movies since the service's launch in 2020, but rarely do they get the marketing that they deserve. Causeway should have been a very easy one for them to do. It's critically acclaimed, has incredible actors in it, and yet, Apple just kind of dumped it on their service with little to no fanfare. And that's a damn shame because this is truly an incredible movie. One of the first things we have to talk about are the stellar performances from the film's two leads. Jennifer Lawrence, for the past few years, hasn't necessarily disappeared, but when she appears in movies, they're usually something like Dark Phoenix or Don't Look Up. She's never given a bad performance, but these last few films just haven't been using her to her full potential. Causeway is the exact opposite of those films. Here, Lawrence gets to show a side of vulnerability and humanity that she hasn't gotten to show in quite some time, and leads to one of the best, if not the best performance of her career. Lawrence does a phenomenal job through the entire film, and I desperately hope she gets the nominations she deserves come award season. Also, we have Brian Tyree Henry also giving the best performance of his career. Since Atlanta, Henry has been knocking every single role he's been given out of the park and is usually the standout performer in everything he's in. And here, he gives a performance unlike anything I've seen him give. Both him and Lawrence find a way to tap into the humanity and subtleties of the characters in ways I haven't seen in a film in quite some time. Their friendship is infectious and heartwarming, and the two have fantastic chemistry with one another. This isn't a film filled with big freakout scenes or the give me Oscar crying or speech scenes. Every moment, every scene is just people talking, living their lives, and dealing with the trauma of their past. Rare is it for a film like this to subtly address the themes it explores, but Causeway does it with such grace and beauty that it makes me want to go back and watch it all again. It could have been very easy for this to be an anti-war film or one that glorifies the trauma these characters go through, but Neugebauer wisely knew that's not what this story is about. This is a film about how do we move on from our trauma and find ways to heal ourselves, even though that trauma will always stay with us. This isn't a film that can provide easy answers, but it knows that trauma is never a thing you can just brush off and be fine with. It's a constant battle you're fighting, and it's one you'll be fighting for a long time, but you're not fighting it alone. While it may start off dark and depressing, the film ultimately ends with a hopeful message that isn't seen too often in films like this. Causeway, I feel, is going to be one of the movies that in 5 to 10 years people are going to stumble upon and go, wow, what an amazing film, why didn't anyone talk about this? While it only came out a little over a week ago at the time of recording this, I hope that enough people discover it, and I hope that it gets the attention of the Academy. Everything from its career best performances from its leads to its stellar direction and beautiful cinematography should get the attention they deserve. If you have Apple TV Plus, or even if you don't, please seek this out as soon as you can. I promise you won't regret it.